Hanshaw here again, your friendly local constitutional counselor from California, and I'm alerting you to the biggest discovery I think I've made in all the years I've been doing this, and that's the only right the de facto national socialist government thinks we have to assistance of counsel. When you understand the real meaning of this issue, this is how we're going to beat them. Because we do have the right to counsel, pro bono counsel, as you are going to learn, free. And it has to be free because it isn't our fault that we're not taught anything in the mandatory public education system now, is it? So we have no way to know. And the government thinks, by the way, the relationship instead of principal and agent, that's the original intent of those racist things, uh, has transformed now to where it's guardian and ward, if not master and slave. That's what they think. We're incompetent. We can't do anything. But we have the right to be heard. And that's where we get them, because you get my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets and send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, and I'll get you information on that. And you then make a demand, to consult counsel. And there's various ways to do that. Probably the best way will get an email for counsel and send the documents. And you'll probably speak with them on the phone, or better yet, a Zoom appearance, which hopefully you can record, and ask him to either tell you if you're wrong and why you're wrong, so you know how to fix it. But he can't do that. I don't make errors. I'm right across the board. I've been doing this for a long time. But now we have the way to get it in there, because if we're right and he's wrong, then he has to not only do it, but pro bono, free, effective assistance of counsel. Not our fault that we weren't taught in the mandatory public education system now, is it? But they have this foreign duty, and yet these attorneys, as you may be aware, all of them are unregistered foreign agents of at least the City of London, and have major conflicts of interest with us on that ground alone. But here again, the problem is, if we have a constitution and no way to enforce it, that's much worse. And they're going to have to do that job, like it or not. Or what can happen is, if they do take the documents and get them filed, then what will happen is you're going to get a nice 12B6 dismissal with prejudice to the cause in your favor. Because if any one of these issues comes out on the record, my unopposed issues, for example, I take the position that there are no sovereign independent states remaining which were admitted into this union, and I say it with attitude and with authority. I have an 83-page unopposed brief on that subject. 3.5 pages of citations to authorities before you even get to the text. No states. That's the kiss of death. And it should be. You want to get back to where we have, and then when we do that, a lot of that government reverts back to the county level. Much less expensive, much more efficient, and much easier to control, especially with education. These are all what we want to do. And for those of you that have, families with your children and your posterity, that's the most important gift you can give them. So that said, send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, and we'll talk about investment here. And it's not a lot of money. We're not talking, Bill Gates or Elon Musk here and $2 billion. Much, much more reasonable. And that will help me to set up even better videos we can do for people to start out with that homeschool their children. And that's going to be a big seller. We have to get some marketing for that. And that's going to cost something, but it's going to pay off big time. Because what I do, and I do it a cappella off the top of my head, I don't need notes. Who does that? I do. 230 years of the Constitution, history, and laws of the United States. I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I don't think any of the attorneys or anyone else are going to seriously even take me on about it because they're going to get thoroughly embarrassed within the first 60 seconds. And that would happen with a trial by jury because the jury's going to pick up immediately who knows the law and who doesn't. They wouldn't even have to go into the back room to deliberate. That's what we want back. And educated jurors, by the way, we'll talk about that on another day. But, there's a lot that I can provide, that you'll want to support my work here. And with a minimum investment, we're not talking a lot of money here. And we get those videos out and we make connections here, with other people that want to do the same thing I want to do, and I can just do it. It's amazing. It really is what I can do. I don't know how I got this gift, but I got it. And I want to make the best use of it. I still got some time left on this earth here. And luckily, here I am, 77, and I've had great health my entire life. Had a bit of a bumpy run this year in some respects, but, and I am a bit tired, but at this age, that's going to happen. But my health, I've been thankful every day for that divinely granted good health that I've had. Last time I've really been sick was in 1991. I had pneumonia, and I did take some medicine for that, and it worked. That's the last time I've taken any medicine. And you have to go back before that to when I was in second or third grade. I had the measles, and I had to stay home for a couple of days. But I've just never been sickly, and there's been a very good reason for that. And I'm trying to carry on and make good on my end of the deal here. And you can help to do that. And I'll be very, very generous with the returns on investment. And if you know what you're doing, it won't be taxable income either. How nice is that? So the whole thing is just unbelievable. But I have the ability to do it, and we get things out there and get a serious network going here. We're going to make some big changes. And with a window of opportunity we haven't had in 150 years. If Trump knows this, he just issued a recent executive order on original intent that sounds exactly like me. And Bondi, the Attorney General, also must be aware of this. And I know the current justices of the U.S. Supreme Court are. I'm probably the biggest expert out there on the U.S. Supreme Court. God, what I know there is just unbelievable. But they know, this court knows, with this conservative court. And if Trump gets some younger conservatives on there, and I'd like to have seen that happen before now. But even so, if that happens, now we have that conservative court for the next 15 to 20 years. And it doesn't matter what happens in the goddamn elections. By the way, as you'll learn about elections, we haven't had a serious one since November of 1864, and I can prove every bit of it. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. And with no elections, where is the quote-unquote consent of the governed? It's not there, and it never has been. Whoa. These are the issues. We're going to ever do process, equal protection, and 14th Amendment bullshit. We go in there with the real issues, and when we do that, we're going to have status and standing, particularly in the U.S. Supreme Court. You'll learn all about that too. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. That we have a right to be there. The Constitution mandates it. That court has said as much in the best decision they've ever made, and these justices know it. So that's a big leverage, and the big deal about that is this applies, by the way, to foreclosures and evictions and what have you. It's all quasi-criminal, and you get these quasi-criminal cases, and one decision on the record puts all these landlords and people out of business. It doesn't work for them. So it's just the way it is. So that said, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. We could go from there. And as I said, tell your friends, get the word out. The sooner we take action, the sooner we get the bastards off our backs. Thank you.